According to Genesis chapter 8, when the floodwaters began to recede, the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. Noah and his family descended the mountain to begin life anew. God had commanded that they should not remain in one place, but should go forth, be fruitful, and replenish the earth. But the descendants of Noah violated God's edict. They settled in the fertile plain between the Tigris and the Euphrates River. When they began building a tower to the heavens, God decided to disperse them. According to the Bible, all the languages of the world had their beginning at one moment in time, the cataclysmic destruction of the legendary Tower of Babel.
The biblical story of Babel is completely consistent with all of the evidence. Anyone who denies this fact is simply engaging in fantasy or speculation.
Scholars and students of the Bible questioned the location, even the existence of the land of Shinar. Then in the early part of the last century, archaeologists brought forth thousands of cuneiform tablets like this one. On such tablets from Egypt, Syria, and the Hittite and Hurrian kingdoms was the name Shinar in various pronunciations.
The land where the biblical story was set was here, in what is now Iraq. The historians of antiquity, including Alexander the Great, all wrote about having seen the ruins of the Tower of Babel. There have been innumerable archaeological digs over the past 100 years that have unearthed the great treasures of Sumer, Assyria, and Babylon in Iraq. The Beers Nimrud site at Borsippa has been favored by many archaeologists as the Tower of Babel. The Ziggurat of Ur and the ruins of Entomonaki near Babylon are even more favored. Is one of these sites the possible location for the Tower of Babel?
The strongest body of archaeological evidence, combined with the biblical account, favors the location of Temenanki, which is in the country of Iraq, in the city of Babylon, 50 miles south of Baghdad. This site was recently featured in a Reader's Digest reference book as the probable site for the location of the Tower of Babel. Today, in the city of Babylon, a model of this tower is featured in the Nebuchadnezzar Museum. Not only was there a real Tower of Babel in the past, the tower and the city that bore its name is being rebuilt today by the world's most dangerous dictator. Not only was there a real Tower of Babel in the past, the tower and the city that bore its name is being rebuilt today by the world's most dangerous dictator.
Simply stated, there is no doubt that Saddam Hussein now has weapons of mass destruction.
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 We agree that the Iraqi dictator must not be permitted to threaten America and the world with horrible poisons, diseases, gases, and atomic weapons. Evidence from intelligence sources, secret communications, and statements by people now in custody reveal that Saddam Hussein aids and protects terrorists, including members of Al-Qaeda.
I want to put into the record, Mr. Chairman, a page from this document put out by the Bush administration, the Network of Terrorism. It was put out a month after 9/11. A page that says countries where Al-Qaeda or affiliated groups have operated. Iraq is not listed.
The temple towers of Mesopotamia were centers for communicating with ancient astronauts.
I believe the tower was intended as a communication device, but not with any so-called ancient astronauts, rather with the spirit world of demons and fallen angels. Rather with the spirit world of demons and fallen angels.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
We can exclusively reveal that George Bush Sr.'s occult name is Magog, which is the name of the evil army commanded by Satan to visit Earth and destroy the kingdom of Christ.
These minor antichrists, or Dajjals, herald the era of the great Dajjal, the supreme Antichrist, the premier son of Satan, who will spread terror in the name of peace.
So long until they suspend and or make it clear that they that their statements aren't real. Yeah, I believe they want to have the capacity, the knowledge, in order to make a nuclear weapon, and I know it's in the world's interest to prevent them from doing so. I believe that the Iranian, if Iran had a nuclear weapon, it would be a dangerous threat to world peace. We got a leader in Iran who has announced that he wants to destroy Israel. So I've told people that if you're interested in avoiding World War III, it seems like you ought to be interested in preventing them from having the knowledge necessary to make a nuclear weapon. And I take the threat of Iran with a nuclear weapon very seriously.
Let us reason together. It would be a regrettable waste. It would be nothing short of madness for you, brave king, and your valiant troops to perish. All because of a simple misunderstanding. There is much our cultures could share.
Haven't you noticed we've been sharing our culture with you all morning?
Yours is a fascinating tribe. Even now you are defiant. In the face of annihilation, in the presence of a god, it isn't wise to stand against Millionaires. Imagine what horrible fate awaits my enemies when I would gladly kill any of my own men for victory.
And I would die for any one of mine.
You Greeks take pride in your logic. I suggest you imply it. Consider the beautiful land you so vigorously defend. Picture it reduced to ash at my whim.